All right, raise your hand if you can tell me what this is. That's right, that's a bucket for my motorcycle skills. What, you can't see my motorcycle skills? Okay, close your eyes for a second. I'll count to 3, and when you reopen your eyes, you'll be able to see it. All right? 1, 2, 3. Close your eyes. All right, open them back up. Now you should be able to see my motorcycle skills. You know, I've been working on this bucket forever, and today I'm going to add some training to it. And I think once I get this training done, I'm finally going to have this bucket full. So let's fill this thing up and see how we do. You know, I can fill this thing up, but no matter how many times I do, my bucket leaks. So I've always got to keep adding to it in order to keep my skills at the top of their game. This week on MCrider, let's talk about why riding a motorcycle is a perishable skill and some things that you can do to fill your bucket back up. Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm the host here at MCrider, where I release a weekly video on motorcycle skills or road strategy to help make you a better rider. You know, May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, and that's a campaign, especially here in Texas, where you'll see on the roads, you know, watch for motorcycles, look twice for motorcycles. You'll see a lot of signs like that on billboards and things like that. I think that's a great idea to try to alert motorists to watch out for motorcyclists. But if you watched a whole lot of my videos, you are aware that I think a lot more of the responsibility falls on us as riders, because let's face it, a lot of drivers are not going to pay attention to that. We need to continue training. And if you're the type of rider who took the basic rider course just to get legal, you know, you wanted to get that certificate and get your license, but it's been 10 years since you've done that, and it's been 10 years since you've practiced emergency braking or swerving or anything like that, this video is for you, because the skills that you gained in emergency braking 10 years ago are gone now. They're like that leaky bucket. You may have filled them up, but in a basic rider course, you probably didn't even fill it up. You just got a certain level of competency on it in order to pass the test. You haven't really developed that skill to the fullest of its ability. You can't do that in a single weekend. And if you don't continue to practice, any skills that you've gained will soon be lost. It'd be like going to the grocery store and buying a year's worth of bananas. You know, by the time you got to the end of the year, none of what you purchased would be of any use. And it's the same thing with motorcycle skills and training. You lose it over time. The skills degrade over time, so you constantly need to be learning. You constantly need to be improving your skills. So this week I thought we would take a look at some of the training that's offered here in the U.S., and we'll make Motorcycle Awareness Month in May Motorcycle Training Month, and I want to encourage you guys to go out and fill that bucket back up, increase those skills, and you know, work on some things that you've always wanted to work on. Get in front of a trained instructor and let them help you. So we'll look at some training opportunities here in the U.S. and some ways that you can search for training in your area just by using Google. I'll have links to all the training opportunities we discuss in this video down in the description of the video. And if you've got some further training in your area or things that you think people need to be aware of, add a link to it in the comments, and we'll also be discussing this over on the forums. So the first thing that most people think of when they think of training here in the United States is the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. In fact, most states require MSF-led class in order to get your license. The MSF offers a whole lot more than just licensing classes. They've got the basic rider course, which I used to teach, to get your license, there's also a BRC2, which would be a good class to take if it's been a while since you take the basic rider course. It's a one-day class. It's essentially the same exercises, but it's on your own motorcycle and it's without the classroom portion of it. It's focused purely on riding, and you'd be amazed at how many bad habits you've developed if it's been a while since you've taken the basic rider course. Look for that BRC2 and see if that's available in your area. In addition to that, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation's got a lot of other classes. One that I really like that they offer here in Texas, I hate the name of it. It's called bike bonding, and it's a really good class for slow speed skills, a lot of the police style maneuvers. It's a good starting base if you're interested in that type of riding. So you may want to do a search and see if they offer that bike bonding class in your area, and that's offered by the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. Another training company that has really grown lately, and that's Total Control. In fact, I think in California, they are the main provider for licensing in the state of California. You can also take it here in Texas, and I used to teach the Total Control Intermediate Riders Clinic, which was a one-day licensing class. But here in Texas, it was primarily for riders who have been riding and just have never gotten their license, because you have to come in and take a competency test, a couple of skills that you've got to show the instructor to even get into the class. So it's a good class if you either have been riding for several years and haven't gotten your license, or as a follow-up class if you just want to increase your skills. It's going to focus more on road speed skills, cornering, emergency braking, things like that. So you'll do a little bit in the classroom, you'll go out to the range, back to the classroom, back to the range, and it's a very hands-on one-day experience. You'll do that on your own motorcycle as well. I can't recommend that one enough. It really is a good class. So I'll have links in the description where you can find out if that Total Control, that Intermediate Riders Clinic, they have a basic rider in California as well, and a more advanced level class offered by Total Control. So those are really good training classes for you to get involved with. So Total Control and the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, I'll consider those licensing classes for the most part, even though they do offer some other classes. But for some continuing education type classes, some things that you may want to look for is Pro Rider. And Pro Rider is here in Dallas. David Wright's a moto officer here in Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he teaches a class over in Dallas. And I've got a video review for that. I'll have that down in the description as well. You can see what that class is about. But Pro Rider is being offered all over the country, and there's taught primarily, I think, by moto officers, and it's a really good one-day class on your own motorcycle. You can't use it for licensing, but it is a great continuing education type class. And I had a really good experience there, and I know that you will as well. So Pro Rider's one opportunity. Another one that's similar to that is the Ride Like a Pro, and that's Jerry Palladino. I know he teaches down in Florida, and there's coaches in other parts of the country that teach that class as well. Jerry also has a series of DVDs, Ride Like a Pro DVDs that you can order and learn some of this on your own. But do a search for that and look through there and see if there's any Ride Like a Pro classes in your area. So if the slow speed stuff is not necessarily your thing and you want to get out on the track, there are a lot of opportunities to do that. And here in Texas, there's Ride Smart, which is a track day organization. They also offer a basic course or a beginner course, beginner track day course, where they've got some instruction with that, and they can help you really work on your cornering. That's one of the best places to work on cornering, is to get out on the track without threat of traffic and be able to work on it on a closed track environment. So Ride Smart, and there's a new company, Sport Rider Coaching. And I know a couple of guys that are teaching this here in Texas, and they're offering more individualized coaching for someone who's really interested in increasing their skills on the track. So sport rider coaching is something that you may want to look in as well, and the link to that will be down in the description. Some other sport riding opportunities out there for you. The Yamaha Champions Riding School, that's Nick Einetch, and that's one of the top sport riding schools in the country from what I hear. I don't have any personal experience with it, but I've met Nick and I've talked to him a few times at the International Motorcycle Show. He's a very knowledgeable instructor, and I'm sure that this is a top-notch class, and everything that I've read from it, people just have a really good experience with it. So if you've got direct experience with that Yamaha Champions Riding School, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. And California Superbike is another track day type school, and I hear really good things about that one as well. There'll be a link to it in the description. And one of our own forum members and patrons here on MCrider, Bob, runs Enjoy the Ride MC, where he does one-on-one coaching at sport riding techniques. And I'll have a link to his Facebook page, or you can reach Bob. Look for Enjoy the Ride MC on our forums, and you can get in contact with Bob there. But he's in the Northeast region, and he's teaching one-on-one classes, teaching primarily sport riding techniques, but he's working with new riders as well. So that's another opportunity in the Northeast. If you're looking for some one-on-one instruction, reach out to Bob and see what he's got available for you. If adventure riding is more your thing, one of the most interesting classes that I found is Rawhide Adventures, and you can get to them at rawhide-offroad.com. They offer training in how to handle a large adventure bike in an off-road environment. Not only do they have the training at Rawhide, but they've also got some planned routes and some rides that you can go on with instructors with you to help get you through some of those obstacles. But they offer a complete training experience for the person who's interested in adventure type riding. So kind of making my career in IT, I'm always surprised at how some people have a hard time finding things online. So we'll go through this, and hopefully you IT savvy people will forgive me for stating the obvious. But if you're looking for training in your area, just open up Google and type in motorcycle training near me, or motorcycle training in your zip code, or motorcycle training in your state. And you'll be surprised at the training that's available in your area, especially here in the United States. I can search for training, and there's a lot of opportunities in this DFW area. And in most states, there's a lot of training opportunities to help increase your skills on a motorcycle. I can't possibly mention everything in this video, but if you just do a little bit of search for it on Google, you'll come up with some opportunities. But I would not be mentioning everything if I didn't mention what we're doing here at MCrider, because not only in addition to this weekly video, but we also offer the forums and the field guide, where you can get access to hundreds of other experienced riders who are eager to help you increase your skills on the forums. And in addition to that, you'll get access to the field guide. We've got 12 or 13 exercises. Those exercises are spelled out with a description, common coaching tips and problems that people face. It's got a diagram of how the exercise looks, and then a video demonstrating what that technique looks like out on a parking lot, and giving you an opportunity to work through a lot of this stuff on your own, even if you're in a region or you don't have the money, or you're financially capable of spending the money on a training course. For as little as $5 a month, you can support the channel on Patreon or on YouTube as a member, get access to the forum and the field guide, and it's a very rich resource to help you as you begin your journey as a motorcyclist. Or if you're like me, you're that type of guy that continually needs to fill that bucket up, because we should never stop learning on two wheels. There's always more to learn, and all the things that you learned 3 years ago, you've already lost some of that skill. So keep building that skill. Keep working on your cornering and your emergency braking and your road strategy, and those kind of things are going to keep you safer out on the street. If I miss some training opportunities, leave a comment below. We'll also be discussing this over on the forums. And if you've got any input, I'd love to hear from other trainers in the area of classes that you offer or other classes that you have direct experience with that. Make sure and leave that in the comments or over on the forum, and we'll have a discussion about it over there as well. So I hope that you'll use this to encourage you to go out and take some additional training. Get out there and practice. Get access to the forum and the field guide and practice some of these exercises on your own. But the main thing is never stop learning. Always try to increase your skill on a bike, and it'll always pay you back, especially when you get out on the street. That car pulls out in front of you. That emergency braking is something that you've practiced, and you've practiced it to the point where you can't get it wrong. So that's what we all need to build to. So until next week, guys, this is Ken with MCrider, and we'll see you on the road. There are multiple ways to support the channel. You can become a member on YouTube at mcrider.com/member, or support the channel through Patreon at mcrider.com/support. Either way, you'll get full access to the forum and the field guides, which will further the training that we release here on a weekly basis.